Morning Indiana. Jim is next.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Now at 6 o'clock, 2 homicides happening within hours of each other. Now police with little to go on are asking for your help. And a battle over a proposed apartment complex in Zionsville. Does it fill a desperate need for housing, or would it steal the character of a quaint downtown area? Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Trevor Shirley. 2 more homicides in Indianapolis, each happening within hours of one another. Tonight, police are still looking for suspects in both of those killings. Around 1:30 this morning, Metro Police were called to the area of South Meridian and West South Streets. Officers say they found a man with a gunshot wound who later died. So far, that man's identity has not been released, and police believe the shooting was an isolated incident. And less than 3 hours before that shooting, police were called to the west side for more gunfire. Officers found a man with a gunshot wound just before 11 o'clock last night at North Traub and West Michigan Streets. That man also later died. Police did not release any possible suspect information for either shooting. And new tonight, investigators in Morgan County are working to identify a body found in the White River there. Emergency personnel were called around 10:45 this morning after a person spotted that body in the river near the State Road 144 bridge. Crews recovered that body a short time later. So far, police have not released much information. We are working to find out more on this case. We'll have it for you as soon as we get any updates on the RTV6 app, as soon as that new information comes in. Switching gears now, taking a look outside on one of our weather cams. It's a beautiful evening out there tonight. Kyle Mounts is here with what we've got coming up ahead. Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, Trevor, some fantastic weather here for the first weekend in June. Had a couple of thunderstorms last night, but all is quiet and dry on Storm Team 6 radar for us this evening. And we're going to keep that going right through the day tomorrow as well. In fact, not only do we not have any rain, we hardly have any cloud cover out there. We've had a few fair weather clouds throughout the afternoon. That temperature 75 degrees in downtown, 76 for you in Martinsville, right at 70 in the Kokomo area. And we've had this northwest breeze, and that's really taken what little humidity we had in the air and just completely washed it out. That northwest wind around 15 miles per hour will relax a little bit here as we go into tonight. And look at those temperatures quickly dropping here. We'll be into the upper 50s by 11 o'clock as our sun sets just after 9 o'clock tonight. And tomorrow morning may need the light jacket, might actually call it a little bit cool out there, as we'll see many communities starting off the morning in the middle to upper 40s, right around 50 in the city. We'll take you hour by hour through your Monday forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thanks. We'll see you in just a bit. In the meantime, the Zionsville Town Council is facing a big vote tomorrow that'll shape the future of that village. The vote is whether or not to approve a rezoning request that will pave the way for the Sycamore Flats apartment complex. Working for You's Derek Thomas is live outside that city council meeting with more. Hey, Derek.
Hi, Trevor. The previous vote ended in a 3-3 tie. A council member was absent, but all hands are expected to be on deck on Monday. The J.C. Hart Company wants the town to rezone 4.3 acres of land from the Village Business Unit designation to facilitate the $40 million project. It includes apartments, retail space, and a garage. There is considerable support for the project, but opponents are conducting a campaign that includes yard signs to demonstrate their disapproval. Their disagreement includes concerns about traffic.
The street is already rated a D. And so looking at the traffic plan, if you ran a new street through here, because they did a traffic study, if you ran a new one through there, it would go up to a C grade. Then, but if you put the apartments back in, it goes back down to a D. So it's not even improving the traffic problem that we already have in downtown Zionsville.
We aren't anti-development and we aren't anti-apartment, but this would increase our community, our village community, by 30%. We only have 600 homes right here in the village. The traffic that it would cause, certainly the number of people that would create would be very challenging for this community.
The hearing and the vote is expected at 7 o'clock tomorrow. They also expect a packed house. Live in Zionsville, Derek Thomas, RTV6.
All right, Derek, thanks so much. New tonight, a child is recovering after being hit by a foul ball at last night's Indianapolis Indians game. We don't know much about the child or their injuries. All we know right now is that the child was sitting along the first baseline of Victory Field when they were hit. Today, the Indians released a short statement about the incident. A team spokesman says after that child was hit, quote, on-site EMT personnel provided treatment at the stadium and the fan was transported to the hospital. We're not able to disclose further details at this time. Our thoughts are with the entire family. This incident at Victory Field came just days after a little girl was hit by a line drive foul ball in Houston. That foul ball came off the bat of Cubs outfielder Alberto Mora Jr. It's led to new scrutiny over whether baseball teams have enough netting to protect fans down each foul line. Major League Baseball only requires its teams to extend nets to the end of each dugout. The girl who was hit in Houston was sitting a few feet beyond that netting. And more than a day after a silver alert was issued for a missing 44-year-old South Bend woman, she is still nowhere to be found. Police are looking for Tamari Limas. That's her on your screen. They say she's about 5'3", 135 pounds, is missing one of her front teeth, and has burn marks on her right arm to her right knee. She was last seen wearing a tie-dye dress and flip-flops. Authorities say she is in danger and may need medical assistance. So if you've got any information about where she could be, you're asked to call police. Well, no injuries were reported this morning as Indianapolis fire crews battled what they called a fast-moving house fire on the south side of Indianapolis. Firefighters were called out just before 7:30 this morning to a house near Shelby and Calhoun Streets. That's just west of I-65. Both floors of the home suffered damage, but it only took fire crews about 30 minutes to bring that fire completely under control. Investigators at this point don't know what caused that fire, but they say the house was vacant when it broke out. Well, the roars of the engines may have been loud, but it'll mean a lot of help and comfort for some kids who need it most. Today, thousands of bikers rev their engines for the annual Miracle Ride for Riley's Children's Hospital. This year, the bikers started at Allison Transmission, and they even got to take a lap on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's one of the few times motorcycles will be allowed on the track this year. This is the Miracle Ride's 26th year, and during that time, bikers have raised more than $6.5 million for the Riley kids. And coming up, a handful of clues on the mass shooting in Virginia Beach. But police also say there's still a lot that they don't know about why a city worker opened fire on his own colleagues. And is the U.S. about to lose an important medical designation? A warning tonight from the CDC as the number of measles cases continues to climb.
And we are enjoying some dry time here in central Indiana. The nearest rain more than 600 miles away, but the wet weather is set to return. I'll let you know when we'll need that umbrella again. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
99.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Well, tonight we're learning more about the moments leading up to the workplace mass shooting in Virginia Beach. Police identified the shooter as Dwayne Craddock. They say he's an engineer at the city's public utilities department. The morning of the shooting, police say he announced he was leaving after 15 years on the job. Tonight, ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi is in Virginia Beach with more.
Police revealing new details of the shooting suspect's movements as he gunned down coworkers inside a municipal building Friday.
The suspect was firing, he was moving. We had numerous office spaces, and the office spaces were connected, and then you would go into another space and it's not connected.
12 people in all were killed, 5 women and 7 men. At this time, police don't know why the suspect, Dwayne Craddock, a longtime city engineer, went on a deadly shooting spree. But they say just hours before he entered the building with 2 .45 caliber handguns, Craddock had sent in a resignation email, giving 2 weeks' notice.
He was in good standing within his department. There were no issues of discipline ongoing.
The shooting has sent shockwaves through Virginia Beach.
You're living a nightmare. And some of these people, they're never going to wake up from it.
Joseph Scott, who worked beside Craddock, says he didn't notice anything unusual as he exchanged pleasantries with the suspect just before leaving for the day.
It was just a normal, hi, how you doing, have a good weekend thing, and I left.
Craddock's family is dealing with their own loss and also grappling with his actions, posting this sign on their front door that reads, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the victims that lost their lives and those recovering in the hospital." Over the last 48 hours, there's been an outpouring of support for the families of the victims. City offices at the Municipal Center will be closed Monday, but in front of the center, a memorial has been created and 12 wooden crosses placed out front, one to honor each victim. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Virginia Beach.
And also tonight, if things keep going the way they are, the CDC says measles may no longer be considered eliminated in the United States. Measles was officially designated as eradicated back in 2000. That means there was no continuous spread for at least a year. The CDC says vaccinations and the ability to contain and treat cases helped get us to that point. But this year, there have been at least 971 measles cases nationwide. That's the most we've seen since 1992. Parts of New York are seeing some of the worst outbreaks they've ever had to deal with. The city has issued more than 100 civil summons to people found not to be in compliance with a vaccination order. So far, though, no fines have been collected. And something else to keep in mind tonight, CBD oil is showing up in all types of products right now, everything from coffee to dog food, but that's causing a lot of confusion over what is and is not legally allowed. Now, the FDA is taking a big step towards clarifying the regulations for CBD, holding the first public hearing on this issue. This is the director of the Center for Medical Cannabis Research at the University of California told the panel the U.S. is behind the curve when it comes to research.
We need to take steps to catch up and provide the public with correct scientific information, including positives and negatives.
A CBD does not get people high, and for now the FDA has said it's not allowed in food, drinks, and supplements. But even despite that, some states are allowing it anyways. The hearing is only a first step. It will likely be months before the FDA decides on any potential new regulations. And some sad news tonight. Looks like we still can't quit our day jobs. That's because you didn't win the big Powerball jackpot last night unless you happen to have been in North Carolina recently. The winning ticket for the $344 million jackpot was sold in North Carolina. The winning numbers were 6, 15, 34, 45, 52, plus a Powerball of 8. So far, nobody's claimed the prize, but whoever's got that winning ticket has 180 days to do so.
And as we look out over downtown Indianapolis, it's been a beautiful Sunday afternoon across the Circle City, and we've got some very nice temperatures out there as well. That's as a cold front moved through the area last night, brought in a couple of rumbles of thunder and some gusty winds with them, but now all is nice and calm. 77 for you in Bloomington. Around 80 degrees along the Ohio River, but you'll look up toward Lake Michigan and temperatures are in the middle 60s this afternoon. And by tomorrow morning, we'll be in the lower 50s in many locations into the middle and upper 40s to start off your day. But it will come with dry weather here as our sun comes up right around 7 o'clock in the morning. As we check out TrueCast, put it in motion. Not going to see a whole lot happening tomorrow. Quite a bit of sunshine coming our way. And during the afternoon, a couple of clouds will bubble up, but we're not going to see any rain out of those. We're going to keep it dry right through Monday afternoon, and those temperatures will warm pretty quickly here. We'll get into the upper 60s by 1 o'clock and into the lower and middle 70s for that afternoon high. So a little bit below average for this time of year. 76 for you in Bloomington, 72 in Muncie, and 71 degrees in Peru. We'll continue to warm things back up a little bit on Tuesday, 77 degrees, and I do think the bulk of the day is going to be dry. Got to stick in there, though, the chance for a spotty shower as we head into the afternoon and mainly Tuesday night. That's when those rain chances start to build back into the area. And once that happens, they're going to be sticking around for a while here. And you can see, I think it's going to be fairly widespread, more widespread on the rainfall than what we had last week. By Wednesday, our rain chances up to about 60%. That will be the same on Thursday and actually 70% on Friday, as it looks like some tropical systems in the Gulf of Mexico may bring some moisture with it and interact across across central Indiana. So right now, between Wednesday and next Sunday, we're talking about the potential of 1 to possibly 4 inches of rainfall, which is not great news because we have had more than enough rain, even though we're getting a couple of days to dry out here. You can see the heaviest of that rain would fall the farther to the south that you travel, but that's something we'll continue to watch over the next couple of days. On Wednesday, we could also have a couple of strong to severe storms in the mix there with that high temperature of 81. Your 7-day planning forecast, temperatures will stay mild even with the rain. We've got highs in the mid to upper 70s and those lows in the middle 60s. But yes, right on into next weekend, we're going to continue with those rain chances.
Yeah, and if there's something that we don't need in central Indiana, it's more rain right now.
That is it. So we'll take the dry weather.
All right, we will. We'll keep an eye on it. Thank you, Kyle. Well, with more and more tech devices in our life, there's a growing need for workers with high-tech skills. Today in our Hiring Hoosiers report, Lauren Casey takes a look at a new startup that's training people in the growing field of cybersecurity.
Skills gap in the industry right now, that cybersecurity and what is happening in the world, this job is not going to go away. It's going to do nothing more but get bigger.
If you're looking for a job of the future, this is it. Cyberspace, the online world connecting our devices, protecting our country, helping us do our jobs. It's always under attack by hackers looking to access and steal our information.
It's a crazy number. So many things are connected. Everything you have is connected now, where somebody has to protect that for some hacker getting in.
Jeremy Miller is the CEO of the new OPSEC Cybersecurity Institute. The veteran knows how much our security matters and hopes this startup company can help close a skills gap in the cybersecurity industry. Course participants may have an interest in the field, but he also says they welcome people of all backgrounds and abilities.
Some companies are even taking people out of certain pieces of their company and bringing them in and training them.
Like Kim Sharp, who has a background in design.
Downloading programs or trying to exploit something, that's what I really like about the classes.
Today, she's taking part in a base course, working to earn certification and some basic skills.
Fishing, farming, whaling, there's a lot of things you can learn.
She says these skills can help her not only protect herself from hackers, but also her workplace, skills that can make her valuable to a company.
What are ways you can actually find insecurities in a company? Because, you know, it helps protect the company as well.
She considers herself to have beginner to intermediate skills and says this class is for anyone who has an interest.
And after finishing these courses, students are able to take the industry's standardized test for certification and then hopefully land a new job. For more information on the cybersecurity field, just search for this story on hiringhoosiers.com. Well, high drama on day 2 of IndyCar racing in Detroit, with the man who won Saturday's race have a shot at sweeping the doubleheader. We'll take a look at that coming up.
Robin.
Well, day 2 of racing in Detroit, it was the second half of the Detroit Grand Prix. Quite a bit drier than it was on Saturday when Joseph Newgarden won the first race. Newgarden would try to go for the sweep, but it was not to be. Newgarden trying to navigate the turn with James Hinchcliffe and Alexander Rossi. When Newgarden and Hinch get together, Rossi somehow avoiding that crash. The second race wrapping up just moments ago, and Scott Dixon came across the line first, just ahead of Marcus Ericsson. Sports Director Dave First is in Detroit. He'll have a full wrap-up and an interview with the winner later on tonight on the news at 11. Tough day at the ballpark for the Indianapolis Indians. The Gwinnett Stripers ran out to a 4-1 lead over the Tribe on a sunny day at Victory Field. Andres Blanco of Gwinnett with a 2-run homer in the 8th. Indy tried to mount a comeback, getting a run in the bottom of the 8th, but that would be all they would get. Gwinnett wins the game 4-2. The Stripers take 2 out of 3 in the weekend series. And it was a must-win for the Hoosiers if they wanted to stay alive in the NCAA baseball tournament, but they'd have to win on the road again to regional host Louisville. And the Hoosiers would come up short. Louisville ran out to a big lead. They were up 9-5. Headed to the 9th inning when Indiana would try to come back. They scored 2 runs and had the tying run at the plate, but they couldn't get any more. Louisville wins 9-7, ending the Hoosiers season. And Indiana State is also trying to stay alive today. The Sycamores taking on Ohio State in an elimination game down in Nashville. That game just ended moments ago, and ISU came out on top, 10-5 the final score. That means the Sycamores will take on regional host Vanderbilt tomorrow night. They would have to beat Vandy twice to advance to the Super Regionals. And tonight, the Toronto Raptors will try to do what many fans thought was not possible. They are looking to take a 2-0 lead over the heavily favored Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. The Raptors stunned the Warriors in Game 1 last Thursday, and they will be on their home court again tonight. Game time is at 8 o'clock, and of course, you can watch it right here on RTV6. Back with a final check your weather forecast right after this.
It's bacon. Artie's because it tastes better.
Dry weather, we're going to take it while we can get it, and that will be the next couple of days here. Tomorrow, beautiful day with a temperature of 74. We'll get into the mid and upper 70s on Tuesday. Again, just that isolated shower chance mainly late in the day, and then we're back into that daily chance of showers and storms. Could be fairly widespread here as we go through the second half of the week with those high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s and possibly 1 to 4 inches of rain by the time we reach the weekend.
All right, sounds good, Kyle. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you back here after the NBA Finals tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a good evening.